opportunity.
Thank you, Rick. And those three things that you had commented on, I mean, based on your background, I think you can probably take care of that in the first maybe 6 months of your
Zoom meeting.
So then you have 3.5
Rick
years
Caruso for mayor.
to skate, right?
Soha.
You know what?
Sherman Oaks
Whatever it
Homeowners
takes, I'm going to do
Association.
it. I am so motivated, and I'm
Pastor
so excited
Sherman
to do this
D.Manning.
job. I know
Yes,
it
we
sounds
can.
crazy because I'm not looking for a
Worshipcenter.org.
career change. I've got a really comfortable life. I got a wife that I love. I got 4 kids that I love, and I got a business that I love.
So
At a city that's really in pain.
all right. So Bob Anderson, who's our vice president, is going to be asking the questions.
Okay.
Don't get mad at Bob, though, because the questions he's asking are not from Bob Anderson, but they're from the audience. Some of the folks are going to be unmuted and ask the questions themselves, and some of them that aren't on the phone, he'll go ahead and ask. So go ahead.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, Rick. Thanks very much for speaking tonight. We usually don't accept anonymous questions because we like to know the people who are asking them. But I got one today, and I thought it was really pretty interesting. I didn't like all of it, but there was one interesting part. And what that person asked is that you transitioned from Republican to an independent in 2011, and then you transitioned to a Democrat this year in 2022. Could you sort of give the reasons why you did that and how, what changed that caused you to do that?
Yeah, sure. Listen, I've always been a centrist. When I was a Republican, I was a centrist. When I was an independent, I was a centrist. As a Democrat, I'm a centrist. I'm pro-jobs. I'm pro-reduction of crime. I'm pro-building business. I'm pro-family. I'm pro-living out your faith. You know, what happened, and the reason I became an independent is the Republican parties, I don't like ideology. And I support the right thing for the people that are being served by elected officials. I don't just check a box and do what a party tells me to do. So at that time, I wanted to be independent. There's been a lot of things that have happened over the last couple of years that have troubled me. I think the far left has gotten too far left. Far right has gotten too far right. We're at a really critical stage, this election coming up in November, right? And I wanted to make it very clear where I stand. You know, I stand with being fiscally conservative, but socially accepting of how people want to live their lives too. And so the Republican Party really left me. It's the old Reagan line. I didn't leave it. And I really want to reinvent the Democratic Party to go back to what it was, I think, 30 years ago, which was very much middle of the road. And that's where I stand. So I didn't want to remain independent because I did want to make a choice. And I didn't feel like I could go to the Republican Party because, frankly, I'm worried about where they're heading.
Thank you. I think that's very important. I will tell you that most of the questions, not most, a good third of them were about homelessness, which was one of the first things you addressed, and you can understand it. We have a few people who asked them. I can't give you every question.
Rico, it says I'm mute. Come here.
I promoted
Quick.
Pastor Manning,
he
has a question that he's going to ask you. Are you there?
Yeah, Mr. Caruso, can you hear me?
Pastor Manning?
Yes, can you hear me? Hello? Unmute me. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Caruso, I house the homeless every day. I'm in Skid Row and all of that. And first of all, I'd like to have your email address. And secondly, I wanted to say that all of the mayoral candidates claim that they're going to solve the homelessness problem in Los Angeles. And I'm wondering what's different about your plan versus Karen Bass, Kevin DeLeon, et cetera. What's going to make you really get this done and not just be rhetoric? And can I have your email address?
Sure. My email address is what you're asking for, Pastor?
Yes.
R. Caruso at Caruso.com. And that comes directly to me.
Thank you.
And I look forward to meeting you and working with you.
Yes.
Let me tell you what the difference is. Everybody I'm running against has been in office for over a decade.
Okay.
Some have been in office for 2 decades.
Okay.
And over the last, let's just say the last 5 years, has anything gotten better? Everything's gotten worse. Crime's
Precisely.
gotten worse. Homelessness has gotten worse. Corruption has gotten worse.
Yes.
You know, their plans are a lot of talk.
Mm.
The difference between me and everybody on that stage that I'm going to be with on the debate coming up
Yes.
is that I've actually gotten things done around the city. I've actually built projects. I've actually supported the inner city. I was at St. Lawrence School this morning with Operation Progress that my wife and I and my kids have supported for many, many years. I was at Para Los Niños, which I know you know on Skid Row,
Yes.
that I've supported and underwritten that school
Wow.
without headlines. I'm
Wow.
not looking for headlines.
Yes.
For the last 25 years,
Yes.
supported that school. I walked into that school today and I got emotional.
Mm.
You go to the outside of that school, you got drug dealing, you got
Yes.
human waste,
Yes.
you got crime. You know what it is, Pastor. You
Yes.
live with it.
Yes.
You walk into that school, you got beautiful little kids taking a nap,
Yes.
families that are walking them in there, that
Yes.
are just trying to keep them safe.
Yes.
Hard-working families that are at or below the poverty line.
Mm.
So I know how to get things done. I've got a track record of getting things done.
Wow.
People I'm running against have a track record of doing nothing. They're legislators.
Yes.
They've never been executives.
Mm.
They've never run a budget. They've never had employees reporting to them.
Yes.
They've never been in charge of an enterprise.
Yes.
They've never been in charge of a business.
Mm.
And Pastor, I would ask you and anybody on this screen,
Yes.
who would you want to step in and run your business if you decided to go away for 4 years? And that's who you should vote for.
Okay. Am I still on or am I off now?
That's great. I'm going
Wonderful.
to continue with a couple of questions more on homelessness and then get into some other topics. Hopefully, we've got Renee Weitzer on the line. Renee, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Please ask your question.
First of all, Rick, you said you're pro this. I'm pro you.
Pastor Sherman D. Manning
it's so
with
good
Rick
to
Caruso.
hear your voice.